Hello. We have an interesting week here. We are getting our second hurricane in 2 weeks. Yes, first it was Helene, which we just don't even like to talk about. And now it's Milton, and it's coming in on the west coast of Florida. Now, I'm northeast Florida, but the west coast of Florida is where most of my family and all my grandbabies are, and a lot of friends. So, I thought about telling you about how I keep my devices charged when the power goes out with hurricanes or with camping. I mean, this is definitely for both because when I started using battery banks, they were for hurricanes and power outages, which are usually synonymous. Anyway, so Milton's on its way, and I thought, hey, why not do a video about how I do battery banks? Because I do it a little differently. I have a nice bag for lithium batteries because lithium batteries, though it's rare, they can ignite, and you want to keep the flames contained in something. And this is a great bag to do it in. Then it's also got all my batteries. I don't have to question where any of my battery banks are, and it's very easy. Now, I have a lot of electronics that most people don't have, but then I've also got my phone. You know, everybody's got a phone. And like the iPhone and Samsung, they take high output on battery banks to charge right. So, oh, do you see the St. Bernard in the back? Those are my friends up from Sarasota. They evacuated to here. So much fun. So it really is nice. It's not nice what's happening back home for them, but still. Anyway, so I've got a few in my face. I've got some odds and end batteries, but I've been collecting these. I like buying when the Prime Day sales are on because they're usually good prices. But there's a couple things to look out for. One is you want a battery bank this large, but you want to make sure that it's got pretty fast output. And I, as a rule, don't get anything less than like 22.5 watts output. Okay. If you get input 2, that means they're going to recharge faster. Okay. And I don't know if you're picking up that on I don't think the camera is, but there's banging behind me. I don't know. There's still storm prep going on. Clearly, I did not prep anything here because I know better. But anyway, it's a small storm, teeny, 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 tiny storm. So anyway, this is another battery I recently got, and it's super lightweight. It fits about the size of my phone, and it's over 30,000 mAh, and it's got a good strong output of 22.5 watts. Really good. I love it. Okay, and in my bag, I keep my USB-C to USB-C cables. And I keep USB mini or micro USB to regular USB cables. And then I also have USB to USB cables. They're down at the bottom because we just don't use those that much right there. And I have them all labeled. It makes it easier when you need to find a cable. You just don't want them thrown in. Okay. I have 3 of these battery banks because I fell in love with them the first time I got one. So, I have those batteries, and these 2 at this point are my faves. Okay. They're both, this is 33,500 mAh, and it is, I think this one is either 30 watts out or 22.5. No, this one's 22.5 out. I think this is 18 watts out, which is good for a phone. You know, it won't necessarily run some of my headsets, but it will charge them, which is great. My projector for camping, any of those devices. With some devices, if you use a higher power cable, like they're made for fast charging. I have a lot of camping devices, you know, inflators, lights, anything like that. Some of my fans, they won't do fast charging with a fast charging cable. You absolutely have to get low tech, slow charging cable, or they won't even charge at all. It's crazy. And then there's some things, unless you have a fast charging cable, they won't charge either. Okay. So it's that balance between 2, which is why I have plenty of these so I don't run into a problem when I'm camping. And I keep them all together in the bag. So it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So these are great. I can leave this on the floor of the tent by my nightstand and just run the cables to my phone and whatever else I want on the table charging. And they're heavy enough that they're not going to slide around. They're easy. You can put them up on the table too. But the reason I don't have a large battery bank, you know, the big guys, is because I don't want wires run all over my house or my tent. I can carry these to where I need them and use them there. And frankly, I'm only going to be in a couple places in my house during a storm. So these just go with me and stay put. No, I don't like all the cables because the dogs will run into them and it causes a big mess, especially in a tent. And who wants cables running across to things, When you're camping, your phone battery has a tendency to die more quickly because it's constantly having to go an extra, it has to use more power to actually connect with the towers because it's always trying to connect. And if it can't make connections and you've got it not in airplane mode, it's constantly trying and using a lot of battery. So I definitely like to have something I can carry around with me. This thing is so lightweight. I just absolutely love it. Now, I just don't have an interest in having the large battery bank. And certainly for hurricanes, I'm single. I have no interest in having a generator and having to worry about all the gas and stuff. So this for me is really good. And a little tip for Floridians, when you know a storm is coming and your power might go out, flip down your air conditioner to the lowest it'll go. It'll stay cool a lot longer if you start out at like 60 degrees. That's my secret tip. Anyway, so if you have any questions, I'll leave links to my two favorites. I might put in a third. The best time to buy batteries is over the Prime Day sales from Amazon because you can get some really good deals. But then there's always going to be that battery you really want, and it's not going to go on sale, and it's going to be worth the investment. Buying a good battery is really wise because you want them to last. Like I say, I have been using these for years. I started out with one and I bought two more because I like them so much. They're not too heavy, but they're heavy enough to stay put on the floor and in the tent. And this one is just perfect for going around with my phone. And if you have any questions, let me know. Ask in the comments and tell me about what you use for emergency power, for hurricanes, or regular power when camping. And do you use a battery or do you use like a big battery bank that, kinds on wheels and things like that? I'm really curious. If I will leave the links in the description down below, just click more for these two batteries and maybe another one that I found recently that I like that I haven't bought yet. And if you'll click the like button, that would be really cool. And subscribe, of course. Thank you so much for those of you that had. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to come out with more videos. It is actually sprinkling down rain, and I am so ready for a storm because it's supposed to be raining right now and all morning, and it just hasn't started yet. We won't see much of the hurricane here. We might get a little breezy because the thing is so small. But please be mindful to prepare for hurricanes no matter what you expect. Anyway, thank you very much and happy camping.